Okay, so this particular webinar is designed to walk us through why it is important for us to consider certification as the next wave, the next way to advance our career. In this particular value-adding conversation, we shall be looking at available certifications, which one is right for you, and what are the expectations in order for you to take advantage of it and continue to grow your career. We had an earlier conversation within the week. It was a fantastic session. Today, we're going to build on what we have said earlier and also grant more information based on the feedback and questions we had in that particular session. But first things first, a little introduction will help. My name is Joel Omike, and I work with P4PE Institute. P4PE Institute is a provider of HR programs, solutions within the industry. We advance the practice of human capital management in various sectors, focusing on human capital, strategic talent management. It is our vision down the line to continue to contribute to mid-sized firms within the industry. So we've been around since 2011 as an institution. We've been privileged to work with various organizations in various sectors of the economy, and we've helped both individuals, executives, as it were, to advance their business, their organization in terms of growth, in terms of development, in terms of people management and people strategy. The organization, as it were, provides both business solutions, corporate performance management, business transformation, mergers and acquisitions, as the case may be. We also provide HR solutions, which includes different types of HR solutions, recruitment, assessment, outsourcing, HR outsourcing, as the case may be, learning and development, in terms of training, certifications in companies, and various leadership and management development programs across the platforms. This particular conversation helps us to understand we strongly believe in the growth and advancement of some of the opportunities that we're going to present here. There are three core beliefs that we have. One is that the greatest accelerator for your success as an organization is to align what you're doing in business with what HR is doing. That is to say, you must bring an alignment of human capital strategy to the business strategy in order for us to deliver results. And then secondly, that alignment must be driven by performance in such a way that we are able to produce significant results within the organization and then enable organizations to achieve as much results as possible in that particular area. I've had an interesting career in the past 22 years, working with executives, helping them to advance their institution. I'm a trusted advisor. I'm also a certified business value builder. And so I engage in various sectors, about 7-8 sectors in experience. So I'm able to bring some of this value to the table to help us to be able to advance as much as possible. I got my first certification, the SPHR, then SPHR, the SPHR certification, somewhere in 2006. So that's about 18 years ago. That was when I got my first certification, the SPHR certification. But that has advanced, and we have changed that in our own environment to the HRMP, which eventually became the SPHRI certification. After that, I got the GPHR certification, and I also got the SHRM SCP certification, and a host of other certifications to support the things I do and some of the conversations that we're going to be having on this particular table. So I've been privileged to engage with over 300 individuals, helping them to become certified in the past 11 years. And some of those individuals have brought to the table significant progress in their career as they make progress with some of the things. Now, it is not to say that the progress is just because of certification, but there's something that certification does to you. does to the people who listen to you, and does to the environment where you work in, just because you are endorsed and you have that particular certification. So let's get into our conversation today. First things first, should you get an HR certification? If you should, which of the certifications will best be suited for you? And which of these certifications will get you further the fastest in order to achieve the kind of results you want to achieve in your career journey, as the case may be? From the registrations that we received, who registered for this particular event are in their mid-career. And mid-career for us is defined as those who are between 4 years and 10 years or 15 years experience within the career space. That is, for us, is defined as your mid-career. Once you cross over the 10-year bar, you're going into the later years of your career, as the case may be at this point in time. So which certification should you be interested in? But before I ask for should you even get interested in a certification or not, let's look at the reasons why people get a certification and the value that certification brings to the table at this point in time. So you can understand why some people have chosen the path of certification as a means to advance their career in various areas. Let's look at this from a standpoint of why you should get certified. What is the value of certification? What value does a certificate, and not just the certificate of attending a training program, all right? What value does international certification provide for you as you come to the table on a particular program in an industry that is very stiff, very competitive? What kind of value does this create for you, and how do you harness the value at that point in time so you can achieve as much results as possible? Interestingly, any certification requires both investment of money and time. In terms of time, it takes an average of 3 months from the day you start preparing for a certification to when you write the exam and pass that particular exam. And those 3 months is like a quarter of a year. It's quite an investment of time for you. And when we say 3 months, we don't mean you read for 1 hour and then you go on and do other things, or you attend classes for a few days and then you go and do other things. We mean intensive study. In our experience in this particular area in the past 11 years of running certifications, we noticed that those who invest themselves for minimum 3 months always pass the certification. It is based on this experience that will give a guarantee of 100% that if you go through the program and go through the model and the work plan given to you, you're guaranteed to pass, irrespective of any certification you take. The second thing about the certification is that it costs quite some money. The average certification is going to cost you about 250,000 naira. That's a $250,000 naira, as the case may be. So it's an investment in your future. So it's not something to be taken lightly. However, even though you're expending energy and expending money on this certification, is it worth it? I'd like to share with you some 4 different areas that helps us to appreciate why this particular certification is worth it. First, by becoming certified, you are much more hireable, right? It is easier for you to find new opportunities because you are certified. Because becoming certified helps organizations to be able to identify and work with you as much as possible. Some employers require applicants to have certain certifications. You notice it in some of the job adverts. Certification is an added advantage. And I've seen a couple of adverts where specifically they say the candidate must have the HR certification, as the case may be, all right? So even though it is not mandatory, it increases your chance of being hired in the process at that point in time. Being certified helps you to prove you are a dedicated individual to the HR profession, and you're ready and willing to bring in the necessary knowledge in order to excel on that particular role. The second one is that there's a higher salary potential for people who are certified in the HR space. According to the statistics from Pay Scale, it was discovered that the difference between someone who has an SPHR certification and someone who does not have that particular certification, that the salary difference between these two people is about 93%. 93% is, I can add it up to 100%. That means that if one person is earning ₦1 million, the other person is earning ₦2 million, just because the person has a certification. And interestingly, those particular jobs are very few. So because they are very few, when they are looking for who will take those jobs, they look for individuals who have distinguished themselves, not only just in experience, but also in the fact that they have an international certification that backs up what they are doing at that point in time. The third one here we find is it helps you to advance your career. It helps you to advance your career as much as possible. When you complete the certification program, it leads to an improved understanding of the various parts of HR and business, as the case may be. It also leads to an improved perception by your employer about your worth to that particular organization at that point in time. And having your certification will automatically qualify you for additional responsibilities, additional opportunities that you'll find within your space. It can also help you to negotiate a better and higher salary, as the case may be, within your organization. And you'll notice that you will get more attention. There is this thing that certification does to the general public. Once you notice someone who has a certification, we tend to treat them with an air of more respect than we do with those who do not have certification. Whether the certification is worth it or not, the fact that you have that certification, you earn that particular respect. And then it gives the opportunity for you to be able to advance your career at that point in time. Then finally, it helps you to develop and also to enhance the essential skills you need in order to support the organization that you're pursuing at that point in time. So as a HR professional, you better have a knowledge of how you can advance your knowledge and skill, because the certification process is so deep that it tasks you, right? It engages you and tries to ensure that you are well stretched in the knowledge area, in the competency area within HR. When you discuss, you notice you discuss differently. Your conversations are full of illustrations, they are full of examples, they are full of case studies, because you've gone through that particular process. So you enhance your skill in being able to engage very well at that point in time in the environment you find yourself. Take a moment and visit some of the profiles on LinkedIn that have the certification badge attached to their name. You'll notice that there is more activity and air around those individuals than around names without those particular certifications, as the case may be. So certification has a value it brings to the table at that point in time. And who should consider looking into getting a certification? One, recent HR graduates. If you're a recent graduate that is in the job market and you're considering HR as a career, I will encourage you to get a certification for two reasons. One, when you're looking for a HR job, right, the employer knows he's hiring people who do not have experience, as the case may be. But as an employer, and as you, if you're the person sitting in that particular seat, and you make a choice between two fresh graduates, one, 0 experience, the other one, 0 experience. But out of the two, one person has a certification in the area you want to hire that person. Most probably that person will rank higher, all things being equal in considering that particular person. So getting a certification increases your chance of finding an employment opportunity within the HR space. Second, professionals who are working in their first HR role. What does that mean? We have a few persons who are moving from one career environment into HR. Like we have people leaving customer service to HR, admin to HR, communication to HR, public relations to HR. There are people coming from different other faculties and they want to enter the HR job. So they have some years of experience already, but they are looking for the first job within HR. For those individuals, it is ideal that they find a HR certification because their experience of working shows that they are matured and can handle things very well. And then the certification helps them transit easily into the HR space at that point in time. And the third one are experienced HR professionals who are looking at advancing their career, boosting their career at that point in time. So if you're a HR professional and here's a career ladder and you're somewhere in the middle of that particular career ladder and you're thinking of moving upwards on that career ladder, you must consider getting a certification. Why do we say so? In the past, certifications is not so common. So people who have work experience get jobs easily. But in today's world, almost everybody has work experience. So what differentiates you from the other person in his work experience is about the certification that you have in addition to your work experience. So enable yourself to move forward at that point in time. It is better that you have that certification and your next job does not need the certification than that you don't have the certification and your next job is demanding for the certification and you miss that particular opportunity at that point in time. Then the fourth case is professionals who are already certified in HR but want to pursue the next level in their career at that point. Maybe you've acquired the lower level HR certification, things like the APHRI, the PHRI, the SHRNCP, or the CIPM associate membership, as the case may be, and you're thinking of moving higher at that point in time, then you must consider the higher level certifications at this point, and this will help you to advance as much as possible. This will create the platform, the opportunity for you to continue to advance so I can make progress. You notice from our conversation, irrespective of where you're coming from, whether you're new to the world of work, you're new to HR, you have some experience in HR and you're trying to advance at that point in time, all right? You need to find yourself a certification that will back you up and help you to make progress. Like I said earlier in those days, our predecessors, who today are our godfathers and our HR mentors, as the case may be, during their time, certification was not in vogue. Certification was not by force, was not a requirement for them to find opportunities. But that generation is going away. The current generation that exists now, everybody is educated. Everybody has a limited knowledge. But we are looking for those that have one thing that distinguishes them from the other ones. And we perceive that a certification is that single thing that can help you to stand out from the crowd compared to other individuals on what you are doing. Now, let's summarize this particular area, then we'll have a quick conversation. Why is certification important for you? Skills have become the global currency of our 21st century economy. In today's world, we are looking for those who have those skills. And the only evidence of that particular skill, that you have the skill, is practice. And if you practice and somebody endorses that you are good in that particular area, you will find the opportunities. Who can endorse that you have the experience to be able to do the work? Your former employer can endorse you. Your CV can claim that you have the qualification, but it's only an international certification, globally recognized and respected, that nobody doubts and nobody questions, and that they will accept. Once they see that certification, people agree that yes, you are good in this particular area. So why is a certification necessary? One, it validates that you have the knowledge, the body of knowledge to do the work that's required. Two, it increases your marketability in the industry as you go on to do what you're doing within that particular industry. Three, it increases your earning power, your potential to acquire more, to achieve more at that point in time. Then four, it enhances your academic performance. Once you have a certification, it's easier for you to go through some of the academics, because some of those academics are very, very theory-driven, as the case may be. There's also an improved reputation of you. In addition to that is an enhanced credibility, that you're able to do well. People have confidence in you. People have respect for you at that point. So you have a stronger confidence. When you speak, you're not cowed by what other people say or by what people say outside your profession. You're strong about it, and you have a deep respect from your peers on how well you're approaching it at that point. This is why you should seek a certification, or you should seek a collection of certifications at that point in time. I'd like to ask at this point in time, for those of us who are signed in now, how many of us have any form of certification? If you have any certification in HR, if you have any HR certification, just say yes in the chat box, or just say certified. If you have any HR certification, just type certified in the chat box. If you have any one of the certifications, whether it is the lower ones, the local one, the international one, any certification, just drop it within the chat box. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fantastic. Good, good. So that for me indicates that already you understand the value of having that particular certification. Yes, beautiful. Thank you very much for responding. Thank you all for responding to this particular conversation at this point in time. All right. Now, what are the available certifications? Which of the certifications should you consider? There are a lot of certifications out there, but which one will make the most difference for you, as the case may be? There are different HR certifications. There are different HR certifications you may seek to pursue. Thank you all. Thank you for responding. But in particular, our conversation today is going to center on two certifications, from HRCI and from SHRM. HRCI is the Human Resource Certification Institute, and SHRM is the Society for Human Resource Management. We shall dive into or delve into the certifications from these two organizations and deal with them in detail. That is not to say that there are no other certifications in the market. There are a whole lot of other certifications you may consider in the market as a way to help you to advance your HR career. But for purpose of this discussion, we shall constrain ourselves to looking at this particular two. But before I move on, let me just look at various certifications that are available that you may consider. So, other certifications with different degrees of recognition, as the case may be. One is CIPM. CIPM is Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and it is from Nigeria. You are familiar with this particular certification, and I trust that a lot of us have CIPM certification already. The CIPM certification is a certification that helps you to understand HR practice within the Nigerian environment. It helps you to understand people relation issues, employee labor law issues within our environment, and what our law says within that particular space. It also brings to the table, from a research and an academic point of view, what the psychology of human resources and management is within our space. And if you're practicing HR, especially within the public sector, I will encourage you to get the CIPM certification. The second certification that you may want to consider with varying level of recognition is from CIPD, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development from UK. This certification usually certifies people on a specialist level, right? So you can be able to practice HR in various areas at that point in time. But mostly within the UK environment, as the case may be. Outside UK, you can pursue this particular certification. It is usually interesting to have the certification because you get to understand HR from a broader perspective, as the case may be. But these two certification institutes, CIPM and CIPD, right, they are an association. They are a HR association. So you join them, and annually you need to maintain your relationship with them, as the case may be, as they continue to share latest information, learnings, and development to you that you can use to continue to drive and grow your career at that point in time. The third certification is from HCI, Human Capital Institute. Their certification is very specialist, very specialist. They have certifications in workforce planning. They have certifications in talent management and talent development, as the case may be. You may consider certifications from those particular organizations. Then you have certification from ATD, right? Now, ATD has about 2 different certifications, but I'll just constrain myself to the CPLP. The CPLP is a certified professional in learning and performance. This certification certifies you as a very good person in learning. Well, learning for us sometimes we say is training, but it's beyond training. So training, development, and various ways of growing and acquiring knowledge and skill. This certification will help you in that particular area. The certification also certifies you as someone who is very good in performance management. A very pricey certification, but it is worth the while if you are interested in pursuing a specialist career in learning and development, as the case may be. The other certification is the CPHRP from Canada. For some of our professionals who are considering relocating to Canada, this certification is a must-have. It is going to be difficult, almost impossible, for you to practice HR within Canada without this particular certification. Most institutions in Canada insist that you should get this particular certification. So it's important that you have that particular certification. If you have any of the other certifications from HRCI or from SHRM, when you get to Canada, you can convert. You can go through the conversion process in order to get that particular certification, as the case may be. Then the last one here is the one from the training industry. The one from the training industry that is called the CPTM, Certified Professional in Training Management. Certified Professional in Training Management. So these are the various certifications that you may consider within the HR space. But I strongly recommend these two. These are the 2 certifications that are globally recognized and makes it easy for you to work within HR in any location you find yourself at that point in time. All right? So these 2 certifications here, the HRCI certification and the SHRM certification at this point. These 2 are the major certifications you should consider pursuing. Okay, so any questions or feedback? If you have any question on what we've said so far. 2 major things we've spoken about: why you should consider getting a certification and what certifications are available. So any questions in this particular area, we'll be able to take it at this point. My next conversation is going to be on what are the requirements for the certifications. Okay, so for HRCI, I would recommend you should consider these 4 certifications from HRCI. They have other certifications. In fact, HRCI has about 9 different certifications, but these are the ones I strongly recommend as value add for us in our space here in terms of the HR certification from HRCI. So the first one is the is the APHRI. The APHRI certification is for HR professionals who are working or who are new to the HR profession, who do not previously have experience in this particular area. Okay, I think it has an international at the end of it. So associate professional in human resources international. It is best choice for someone who is entirely new, no experience at all in HR, or somebody who has worked for 2-3 years in other functions, other roles, and is moving into HR for the first time. We recommend the APHRI. This particular certification teaches you the knowledge you need to have to be able to practice HR. So it covers the various content of HR. So that once you start off your career within HR, the things they are doing and the things they are saying will not be sounding strange to you at that point in time. You can quickly support the HR department at that point in time. The second certification you should consider is the PHRI certification. The PHRI certification is for HR professionals who have more than 2 years experience, 1 to 2 years experience if you have a master's degree, as the case may be, who have been working in HR for at least 1 to 2 years. So those people already have started practicing HR. This certification covers about 6 different areas within the HR space. It focuses on training, it focuses on recruitment, employee relations, compensation and benefits, and also it looks at labor law and non-labor law, employee relations, yes, on how you can manage employees within an organization, as the case may be. This particular certification, PHRI, is focused on the execution of the operational part of HR. So you can administer training, you can run payroll, you can run recruitment, as the case may be. This is what this certification ensures that whoever it is gets it is able to do. And so we usually find people who have 5 years and below of experience pursuing this particular certification. By our judgment and our experience within HR, this certification is ideal even if you have up to 8 years experience, but you do not have any certification in HR. This certification is also ideal for you even if you have up to 8 or 10 years experience, but that entire experience has been in one function. Maybe throughout your career, you have only been doing recruitment. Like we find some consultants who are trying to get into HR, but meanwhile, their entire consulting experience, they've been working in a consulting firm where all they do is recruit. Or your background has been in training, all you have done is train. So it's important that you take this PHRI certification so I can give you the length and breadth of the entire part of HR, so I can see how all of them connect together and how they work at that point in time. The third certification from HRCI is the SPHRI. The SPHRI certification. The SPHRI certification is a certification that is designed for senior people, for those who have more than 5 years experience within HR. It is the highest certification from that particular institute, and it requires you to demonstrate a deep understanding of how HR works. This particular certification is not about operational HR, but it's more of the strategic part of HR, talent management in HR, analytics and metrics of HR. This particular part of HR or certification helps HR managers to be able to engage executives. When HR is saying that HR needs a seat at the executive table, this is a certification that ensures you get that particular seat at the executive table. Because it looks at what is the business strategy? What kind of strategies can you put in HR to support that particular business strategy? How do you design the HR services to ensure that it respects the local laws, regulations, compliance within that particular environment, and at the same time, create value for the organization? How do you turn talent into performance in the organization? This is what the SPHRI certification does. Then the GP, I think this is the GPHR certification. The GPHR certification is a global professional in human resources. This particular certification is for those who want to go global with their HR career. With this particular certification, you are able to transit from your current HR role to a global practice. It is ideal for people who want to have a global HR mindset. You want to understand how best to manage HR in more than one country. Maybe you are the head of training or you're the head of recruitment And so you cross boundaries from one border to another border in order to manage your HR processes. This is a certification for you. Please note, while the GPHR is the de la creme of international certifications, it is not the highest certification in HR. In fact, you only need 2 to 3 years experience in HR for you to do the GPHR. Unlike the SPHRI that requires you to have up to 6, 7, 8 years experience before you can do it very well in that particular space. The GPHR simply says, what do you do in HR? Does your job require you to work in more than one country at a time? In that case, you do GPHR. Are you thinking of pursuing a career in an international firm where they have a lot of international relationships, maybe expatriates and things like that, or they have branches in more than one country? Then you should consider getting a GPHR. Please do not pursue a GPHR certification if you do not have any interest or any career advancement in any of these areas I have mentioned. It will be a waste of money for you. Knowledge is good. You will have the knowledge. You'll be able to discuss it, but you will not practice with it, as the case may be. So that's the HRCI 4 certifications you should consider. In addition, HRCI globally, you'll notice that the number of people that have these particular certifications are many. Like the GPHR certification, about 2,700, almost 2,800 persons, as at January this year, have this particular certification. The PHRI, over 2,428 individuals have this particular certification. And the SPHRI, about 2,150 individuals also have this particular certification. So it's a certification that is in vogue, and people continue to maintain and carry that certification along the line as they make progress in their career. In terms of pass rate, because the next question is, if I write the exam, will I pass? That's one question people always ask. Okay, this certification I'm going to write now, will I pass it? Well, I'll come to you one-on-one whether you'll be able to pass it or not. But this is the statistics globally that shows the percentage of pass rate of the certification across the world. For example, the APHRI, remember the APHRI is certification for who? Let me see. APHRI, who is the certification for? If you have been following our conversation, APHRI is for who? Please, you can chat in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and share. The APHRI certification, who is it for?
For those people that are just coming into HR, that just came out of school and they have an interest to join the HR.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Those who are new, fresh from the academia, going into their first job, right? People who have spent 2 years, 3 years in another function, not HR at all, they should come and do this. You notice that the global pass rate of that certification is about 61%. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, so we have comments. Yes, Obanke says beginners, entry level, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So those are the individuals who the APHRI is meant for. Now, if you look at PHRI here, you see PHRI here, these are for people in their mid-career in HR. People in their mid-career in HR, you can see PHRI here. About 81% of the people who write the exam pass. That is to say, out of every 10, 8 will pass. Or out of every 5 persons that write the exam, 4 pass the exam globally, as the case may be. You can also check down here, you will see the SPHRI. The SPHRI has about 76% pass rate, global pass rate at that point. And then the last one here is GPHR that has about 71% pass rate. So those are the 4 certifications I spoke about from HRCI. And I think if you're considering an international certification, consider these 4 certifications from HRCI. They are globally recognized, globally respected. Each of these certifications are well known by all senior HR managers, and they are willing to work with you once you have these particular certifications. Okay, so that is HRCI. Let's now look at SHRM. SHRM, on the other hand, is an association. Remember I said so earlier? They have two certifications that you should consider. The SHRM CP, that is Certified Professional, and the SHRM SCP, Senior Certified Professional. The SHRM certification is a great certification for those who are graduates with one or a few years experience in HR role or other roles, as the case may be at that point in time. And this is the way they can get certified at that point in time. It can help you to pursue a certification across Oh, sorry, I was disconnected. So it can help you to pursue a career once you have a limited experience within HR. Once you have your first degree, 1 year or 2 years experience, you're good to go. You can do that. Interestingly, today, SHRM says that you do not need any experience. Even if you have zero experience in HR, you can write the Certified Professional, the CP. The second certification from SHRM is the SHRM SCP. That is the Senior Certified Professional, and it is a higher certification you can aim from SHRM. It is good for people who have 3 years and above experience within HR, but you must be a graduate, right, with that particular experience, or 4 years experience if you are within a lower level certification, as the case may be. These two certifications from SHRM can help you to advance your career as much as possible. Now, what is the pass rates and the contents of the SHRM certifications? Now, the SHRM certification is made up of conversations around leadership, business, interpersonal skills, people management, organizational management, workplace management. This is what the exam is made up of, 50-50, all right, in this particular area. And the exam are key concepts. They look at behavioral concepts and they look at concepts within HR. For you to pass the certification, you must score 200 points and above before you pass this particular certification. The SHRM certification exam is written between December, January, and February, or May, June, and July. These are the only period in the year you can write the SHRM certification. This is completely different from the HRCI. HRCI, you can write it any day you feel you're ready. If you're ready tomorrow, you can go and write it. Any day of the month, any month you're interested in, you can write the HRCI. But SHRM is constrained to this particular period. These are the periods in which you can write this particular certification. What is the pass rate? For the CP, the pass rate is 67%, while for the SCP, the pass rate is 48%. You will notice that the pass rate of SHRM is slightly lower compared to that of HRCI, as the case may be at that point in time. So that's what differentiates those two certifications. In terms of the certification process, you need to be clear of what certification you want to pursue. That clarity will help you to make the right choice of the certification that you want to pursue at that point in time. And so, if you're considering an international certification, make up your mind, what organization will I get it from? Should I get it from HRCI or should I get it from SHRM? Once you've decided that particular point, which institution you want to pursue, then you then decide which of the certifications that you want to pursue at that point in time. Okay, so there's a question in the chat box. Yanni says, does the lower pass rates of the SHRM certification indicate that it is more rigorous? Not necessarily so. I will cover the reason why the pass rate is lower in another slide down the line in front. But it is because the certification design is not common with what we are used to. And so the pass rate is lower than expected at that point in time. Thank you. So back to our conversation. After you have chosen what certification you want to pursue, you've chosen what certification you want to pursue, then you apply for that certification. It's always encouraged because it helps you, once you apply for something, you start working towards it. So you apply for that certification. So if you are looking at pursuing one certification, maybe the SHRM CP, you go and apply for that particular certification. After you apply for the certification, you now begin to prepare, you begin to practice and get ready to pass that particular certification at that point in time. You have a lot of preparation programs that you can use in order to achieve more results down the line. Again, another question online, Jacqueline is asking, which is more recognized and marketable? Is it the HRCI or the SHIM? Now, this is putting me on the spot, Jacqueline. Personally, I carry the two certifications. I have the SPHRI from HRCI, and I also have the SHRM SCP. So in order to avoid whether which one is better or not, I think you should get the two certifications so that you're well covered in any area that comes in at that point. But from a practical point of view, the HRCI certification is an older certification. That is, it's been around for a very, very long time. Over 40 years, as the case may be. It's been around for that length of time. So it is a tried, tested, and trusted certification, and well known more than the SHRM certification. Second, their system has been perfected such that it is easy to understand their process, and there is sufficient material that you can use to prepare for that particular exam. So passing it is easier. That is why you notice that they have a higher pass rate than the SHRM certification. On the other hand, SHRM is an association. And as an association, you can join that particular association and have access to some HR information, HR conversations that go on from time to time. But of course, being a member of that association comes at a price. I think about $109 annually that you pay to keep your membership active. Unlike HRCI, that is not an association. You don't need to join any association with HRCI at that point in time. So which one is well recognized and known more than the other one? It is the HRCI. Which one has a community that you can join and then you people can go for events and attend programs and stuff like that? It is the SHRM. The question is, what do you need the certification for? That will guide which of them you should take at that point in time. In terms of which one is accepted when you're looking for opportunities in the work environment, both are equally accepted, as the case may be. If you have no plans of living in UK, okay, the beauty of the CIPD certification from UK is that there's an air of association and respect that it brings. There's an accolade it brings to you. Most of the people who have those certifications are people who are at their master's level, MBA level, as the case may be. Those are the people who kind of get that particular certification. But remember, it is from an association. So what you do is you join the association, and joining the association, they give you an opportunity. It is not really an exam, so to speak. It is a practitioner's route. They interview you, they call you, submit some documentations, your CV, samples of work you've done. The process takes almost 2 years before you get a CIPD certification at that point in time. Okay, the question says, how many stages or diets are there in the SHRM certification? Only one. HRCI, SHRM certification, only one. You prepare for the exam, you go and write it, you pass, you get your certification, you're endorsed. You are a certified professional at that point in time. Good to go. Okay? It says, the payment, does it cover all the stages of the exam? Once you pay for the exam once, you pass the exam and you're good to go. So nothing else is required. Thank you very much. So back into the slide, you have the certification process. You can prepare for the certification. We'll share information on how to prepare that. You go and take the tests. I think in Lagos, there's a test center for SHRM somewhere in on the island. While for the HRCI certification, the test centers are well distributed across the places. They have about 6 or 7 of them within Lagos. And they have other locations in Abuja, in Kaduna, as the case may be, where you can also write your test. So you get certified, you pass, and then you're good to go at that point in time. Okay, fine. So which of these certifications is ideal for you? Which is ideal for you? The certification you choose to pursue depends on a couple of questions that I always ask. Question number 1, why do you need a certification? If you need a certification because it's in vogue and it is nice to have it on your CV so that it creates more opportunity for you, be my guest, pursue anyone that you're qualified for. It will achieve that reason. Question number 2, if you need the certification because you're thinking of traveling out of Nigeria, because some people say that I want to get a certification, so when I go outside, it will be relevant at that point in time. Then, if you are traveling to USA, you do not need the HRCI certifications. The APHRI, the SPHRI, the PHRI are not used in USA. They are used in every part of the world except for USA. They have their own version in USA. So if you want to write those ones, you can write the versions they have in USA. However, the SHRI certification can be used in the USA. 3, if your planned location is maybe Canada, that's where you want to travel out to, that's where you plan to go to, then it doesn't matter the certification you get. When you get SHRM or you get HRCI certification, when you get to Canada, they will convert it to the Canadian certification, and then you write the extra exam and go through the extra certification process for you to get the CPHR, which is the Canadian certification. If you're going to UK, obviously you pursue the CIPD certification. If you're going to any other part of the world, as the case may be, as places you're relocating, then you can take the HRCI with you, because HRCI is more globally recognized in those particular areas. Finally, if you are young in your career, there's no need stretching it. Your ideal best bet is either the APHRI or the PHRI. Those are the 2 certifications you should consider at lower level. The final question. Some people say, I need a certification because I want to grow in my current career. I'm in my mid-level career. I'm thinking of the strategic in HR. I want to move into that strategic level in HR. At that point in time, what you need is the SPHRI. It's a certification that makes you come before the board, before executive management, and translate and link the corporate strategy to the HR strategy. You link everything very well, and you're able to speak as an executive at that particular level. So you should consider the SPHRI certification. So those are the possible certifications you may consider down the line. Let's take some comments. Okay, says, okay, Jacqueline says, is the CIPD recognized in other European countries? Yes, absolutely. The CIPD certification is recognized across the other European EU countries. It is recognized. Yes. So it says, how many stages or diets are there in the SHR? I think I've answered that. Enrolling on some online courses, is it related to HR rules? Does it count in positioning oneself in the industry for increased value chain? Absolutely. Once you enroll in HR certifications or programs, as the case may be, you become more informed, you become more competent and more skilled. And clearly, you defend what you do in your organization and may pursue other certifications outside at that point in time. Gloria says, I think they have a center in Ibadan too. Okay, we'll check that at the point in time when you're planning to write the exam. Franca says, which certification will be useful to Australia? Australia has its own certification. However, beyond that certification, Australia has what they call a conversion program. So the SPHRI, sorry, not the SPHRI, the HRCI certification. So if you take any of the HRCI certifications, whether it is the PHRI or the SPHRI, when you get there, you can convert those two certifications to the Australian certification system that is required in that place. All right. Okay. So Jacqueline, please, let's make it clear. HRCI is based in USA. HRCI certifications are designed for US. All right. They have a certification that is called APHR, PHR, and SPHR. These three certifications, part of the certification is American labor law. So those certifications are designed for people who are working in US. However, for HR professionals who are outside US, they have an alternative certification that is called PHRI. That's why there's an I in the certification. That I says international. SPHRI, international. Certifications with the I, they have removed American laws from it because those American laws are not applicable. For example, the laws in America are not applicable in Nigeria. So if you get the certification from that of the US, you can't practice with it here. It will be causing confusion for you as you practice here. That is why the HRCI certification, they have two certifications. One designed for the Americans and the other one designed for the rest of the world. Both certifications are well recognized. If you want to practice in US, get the one that is recognized for the American environment, so I can take on that particular one. There is no need pursuing a certification for USA, for Canada, if you do not have plans of leaving this country in the next, right, in the next 3 years. It's important that you are able to get the certification you need in any location you're going to when the time comes for you to go to that particular place. Okay, Julian says, give clarity in which to pursue for intending migrants of the US. If you intend to go to USA, pursue SHRM certification or HRCI certifications in terms of PHR and SPHR. Those are the only certifications that you can pursue for USA, as the case may be. That's from Julian. Okay, I think that's the last one we'll have at that point in time. Thank you. So choosing the right HR certification depends on your career level, your education, and where you're starting from. So opting to complete your certification requires you to be committed, because we see some people who start the certification process and they are not able to complete it. Or some people who start it and don't give it enough attention, enough energy, and they are not able to pass the certification. I'd like to share with you a few reasons why people do not pass the certification and our recommendation for you to counter those particular issues in case if it is peculiar to you at this point in time. One, poor reading habit. Some people do not read for the exam very well. There are some people who are not given to reading. It is difficult for them to carry a book and read, much less of reading a textbook. All right. So if you're that kind of person, you need to improve your reading habit before you start preparing for that particular exam. Two, experience myopia. Some people have this myopia that, look, I am an experienced HR person. There's nothing they will ask me that I don't know. You will be shocked in the certification exam that there's a lot that we in HR do not know, because we practice what we see. If I'm a manager of HR in my organization, most probably my experience is limited to what I see in my organization at that point in time. But other organizations will have met other different cases of experience. And remember, one industry is different from another industry. The way HR people manage their team in the financial industry is completely different from the way it is managed in the construction environment, in the manufacturing environment. But the certification helps you to prepare irrespective of any industry you find yourself in, so I can do very well. So don't use your experience, because it might affect you if you think that your experience is all you need at that point. Three is pride. Some people feel that, the exam requirement, they say to write the exam, you need 5 years. I have 15 years. I can pass it. Please don't go with that particular pride sometimes, because you'll notice that when the exam comes, there are certain things that you should have put in place which your preparatory program is supposed to assist you to prepare in those particular areas. Number 4 is exam fever. So some of us get into the exam and we start shaking, especially for those who are not 100% confident whether they are prepared enough to pass the exam. Exam fever can make you, instead of writing A, you go and write B. You just get confused in the exam. Please don't blame village people. All right? Prepare very well for the exam so you avoid the fever when it comes. 5, some don't have test-taking skills. They have not prepared themselves to take tests. It's been long I wrote a test. For some people, the last time they took any test was the days of graduate training program when they wrote GMAT before they got their first job. And they've not written every other thing. All the jobs they've gotten are interview. They've never written test again. So some have forgotten the skill of test taking. Part of your preparation program is to wake up that particular skill and give you different strategies to write the exam as much as possible. Let me give you one of the tips. One of the tips is that, yes, and this also answers Iyano's question. The exam is multiple choice. So every question has 4 options. Every question has 4 options. And one of the options is correct. A, B, C, D. Choose any one. Please, in the exam, if you are not sure or you do not know the answer, please don't leave it unanswered and go and submit. You must not submit the exam question paper without answering all the questions. After you've answered all the ones you know, you come back to the ones you don't know. If you can't guess at that point, then please do tumbo. Many, more. You must choose something. And why do we encourage you to choose something? Because the chance of passing it is 25%. And I think that is good enough for me. Because that one that you pass may make the difference between you, whether you get certified or you don't get certified. In HRCI, for example, the pass mark is 500 points. Because you didn't answer one question, you may score 499. And 499 is very painful. And they send you a result and say, Joel, you did not pass because you scored 499. You missed 1 point. Meanwhile, I had a lot of questions that I didn't answer. I could have done mini more. And out of 10 that I did mini more, I will have gotten 2 or 3 from it at that point. So try it at that point in time. Okay. So Gloria says, very true. I got that experience in the engineering industry. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks for collaborating. Number 6, the Nigerian HR hats versus the international hats. Okay, so the way HR is practiced in Nigeria, let me call it a cap, right? The HR cap in Nigeria is not the HR cap in Ghana. It's not the HR cap in US. So the certification exam brings to your mind how HR is practiced globally, best practice. The fact that in HR in Nigeria, certain things are taken for granted. In the international space, it is a formula for chaos. Your organization can be sanctioned for that way. So when you go to write that exam, why people fail is that they still think Nigeria when they are writing that exam. A case is you place an advert on newspaper, and in the advert you say candidates must be 24 years, must not be 24 years, above 24 years when they apply for the job. That is discrimination. Don't do that in the international space, all right? Or you say, for this position, is ideal candidate must be a male. That's discrimination also. So there are certain things we do in our environment that is unacceptable at the global space. Or you wake up because you don't like Joel, you just fire Joel. Joel, you're hereby fired from your job. Your services are no longer required. Come and be going. Or the international space is unacceptable at that point in time. Okay, so that's an example of when you go into the HR certification, you must try to remove your local practice from your mind and then look at what the international best practices are saying. This is what your preparatory program will help you to achieve. Number 7, some people read to pass the exam versus reading to practice. When you read to pass the exam, the tendency is that you'll be cramming, you'll be memorizing. And when you get to the exam, the things you memorize, if they don't come in the order you memorize them, you can get confused. And instantly, you will run into exam fever at that point in time. It is better for you to read to practice, so to be a part of you, irrespective of how the questions are asked in the exam. You are well prepared in order to address that question. Some people fail because they cram. in order to pass the exam. And then there's analysis paralysis, which is common. People will analyze something and then forget what the real thing should be at that point in time. These are some of the reasons why some are not able to pass the certification exam. Interestingly, certification exams are straightforward and easy. If you make it your career goal in 1 year, you can cover up all certifications you need for your career for the next 5 years in your career. Just take 1 year. Let's say this 2022, 2023, decide it is your year of certification. Get at least 2 international certifications. First 6 months, get one. Last 6 months, get another one. In the next 4 years, those 2 certifications will transform your career journey to a high level that you will be amazed at the results that you're going to get from it at that point in time. So we'll invite you to prepare for your certifications. Make a choice of the certifications that you want. Remember the slide here on the certification process. Decide what certification you want to take and apply for that certification. And then find a certification center that will help you to prepare for that particular certification. Our organization at P4PE Institute can help you with your certification preparatory program. And we have a lot of programs that can help you in this particular area for you to be able to prepare for your certification. Our certification process is quality-based, best of the breed faculty to help you to achieve results from the things you do. Most of the faculty in the industry have gone through us in preparing for the certifications and how they prep others. There are also updated materials regularly, so you're guaranteed that you're getting what is relevant, what is being used for practice at that point in time. And then we have a track record, our brand name, our high pass rates. We have the most certified students, over 300 students in Nigeria in the past 10 years or thereabout, who have gone through our certification process. Our prices are very affordable, very competitive, and we're always open for you to discuss an installmental payment if that is an option that will work best for you. We have weekly based assignments and tests that you can take that continues to prepare you before you get to the certification date. There's a dedicated certification advisor that will work with you, decide on the certification you're going to do, help you to get registered for it, and run you through the entire process until the day you pass. There are also industry lead faculty in this particular area. If you're looking for in the industry, look, we need to find someone or an organization that has done very well in the certification environment. You most probably find our name in the top 3 at that point in time. And then we have a free study space and a free study center, a co-working space. While you're preparing for the exam, you can come and use the space at this point in time, and that can help you to pursue the certifications that you require. On the final thoughts, whether you are interested in taking one course or a full set of courses in HR management, there are many available courses that you may pursue. You can go online, find various e-learning platforms where you can learn a few things, find organizations that offer HR programs, all right, or visit our website, p4pe.co/certifications. Okay, that should be /certificates. All right, so that you can prepare for any of these particular certifications that we have mentioned here in preparation to advance your career, as the case may be. We also have 2 groups that you can join that can assist you to continue to grow both in your certification and your certification direction. We have a certification group on LinkedIn. We have a certification group on Telegram. You can join any one of these 2 to make progress at that point. Our SPHRI certifications starts in September, last week, September. All right, that's in another 4 weeks from now, as the case is. Where is our study center? Our study center is here in Ikeja at Okwebi. This is where the study center is. Okay, so that's those are a few information. Now, if you're interested in accessing any of these particular services that we've mentioned, we have some certification programs that we can share with you that can help you to advance your certification process, so that you can use that in order to move forward and then be able to achieve as much results as possible in whatever it is that you're doing at this point in time. So here are the ways with some of our certification practice programs that you can use. So for the SHRM, whether you're taking the SHRM CP or the SCP or the PHRI or the SPHI or the GPHI, we have in-person certification test preparatory programs. It runs for about 4 weeks, and it includes your study materials, all the materials that you need. You can always visit our websites on ProVarsity. That's our online e-learning platform. You have videos you can download of the classes that has gone through previously. You can learn from those particular programs at that point in time. And that can help you as much as possible. Okay? You can use that particular session and be able to walk through the process. On the other hand, if you are interested in virtual, this is the in-person, right? You can come, this is at our center here in Lagos, in Abuja, or in Port Harcourt, all right? It's available in those 3 locations, Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, in person, or virtual from anywhere you are in the world for an 8-week program, right? Virtual instructor-led program. Where throughout an 8-week period, there are about 4 approximate sessions that we meet and discuss regularly, and then there's an online platform that you can also use to access some of the materials that you want at that point in time. Same information, the PHRI, SPHRI, GPHR, and SHRM. The windows were starting in September, right? In last week, September, that's the next class. The next class is designed to start at that point in time. So you can join any of those particular sessions to advance your certification. Same model is available for the other certifications if you want to consider them and use them as a way for you to prepare for your certification exam. Then finally, for those writing APHRI and PHRI, we have a 4 weeks program with similar arrangements, so you can join them and achieve significant results in those particular areas. However, you may decide to do self-study. Okay, you don't have time to join the class physically or online. You like to do study on your own. Then you can join you can visit our ProVarsity and be able to learn from there. You can download all the videos, all the materials, the entire class conversations, as it were. It contains over 40 hours of video recording. And if you go through those particular sessions, along with your materials, your case studies and information, you will be able to excel very, very well at that point in time. Now, how much does it cost? And what is the offer we have on ground? So for the certification program, our current certification program is at is 126,000. That's the full class. It covers all your materials and all the videos, all the questions, the test banks, the mock exams you're going to take down the line in that particular exam as much as possible. Beyond the certifications also, this also covers all the content that you require as you make progress. For attending this particular webinar, you will get 30% off this particular course. So you'll be paying about 90-something thousand or thereabouts, just because you are a member of this particular session. Please remember to send a message on chat now that you would like to access the discounts on those who attended the webinar. Then beyond those who attended the webinar, if you have taken the decision that this is a certification that you want to take and you want to work with P4PE to get certified, we're also offering you a 50% discount, which means instead of paying 126,000, you'll be paying only 63,000 for the same content, same exam, and everything as the case may be. This is for your certification prep program. Prepare for that particular program. But this offer ends at close of business on Monday, August 15th. After now, to the other options to have at
all of you wake up. Brush teeth, not brush.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. So those, yes, we have provisions for on-site training. Just chat with the number in our chat box. You will get a number now on the chat box, so you can chat us to discuss the option for the on-site training, or you can visit our website and see what options that we have at that point in time for you to be able to apply for it. Okay. So any one of those options will work for you at that point. No, the discount is for any of the programs, whether you're taking on-site, off-site, online, virtual, any one of them you're taking, the discount applies to it. The only way it doesn't apply is the self-study. The self-study is off Provacity, so that one is fixed. The price is about 60,000 to 90,000. I'm not too sure. So if you visit the site, you get that. That's e-learning. You can register today and start learning today from Provacity at that point in time, and then you can use that particular model for your certification. Okay, so thank you very much for being a part of this particular session. So if we recap what we've said so far, certification is the currency. Skills is the currency of today's world. You need to work on building yourself to achieve an advanced result. Get these certifications. It helps you to move forward as much as possible so you can deliver as much results as you can in your career. My colleague Jane, who is on this chat, will type in the number now so you can chat her later on it. So if you get the certification, you'll be able to make progress, achieve more results. Note, the certification is not the only thing that you require to make progress, but those who have the certification move faster than those without the certification. And not all of us have that particular privilege, but you can consciously continue to move your advancement, your career forward as you make progress at that point in time. Okay, so any other questions, we'll be able to take that. If not so, our time is well spent. We have 3 more minutes to go.
Good morning, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is almost personal, but I feel it will actually benefit a lot of persons. So I just concluded my CIPM. I'll be inducted this August, and I'm trying to get other jobs, but at the same time, I feel I could take the opportunity to also get an international certification so I can actually broaden my opportunities and also knowledge base. However, I've gotten advice that there is a new wave of specialization rather than just sticking to generalist HR route. So what would you advise me to do? Would you advise I take a generalist international certification? Then as I increase, then I can actually specialize on one area of HR that I am interested in. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question, Elizabeth. The interesting thing about that of specialization is that it says that the HR personnel of the future are not playing general roles. They are mostly in specialist positions, right? But there's nobody that gets into a specialist position without passing through the fundamental parts of HR. And one of the platforms that ensures you have a broad understanding of the general parts of HR are certifications like the PHRI and the SHRM CP, because these two certifications give you a broad understanding. The CIPM certification is also a certification that gives you a broad understanding of the general HR. Once you have that foundation, you can then spread on. You can then move on to a specialist area. It will take you a long time to become a specialist. In fact, research shows that you need 10 years. 10 years of practice in an area before you become recognized as a specialist in that area. My best practice and mentor recommendation to individuals is, as you progress on that journey, get a certificate first that recognizes you're a professional in your industry. Then you can then be certified in a part of that particular industry, as the case may be. So that will help you down the line. So if you want to pursue a certification in training, get that particular one after you've been certified. Generally, but I can't be discussing training if I don't understand performance gaps, if I don't understand employee relations issues and things like that. You'll be having problems with being able to play your role in that area. I can't be discussing workforce planning if I don't understand recruitment, if I don't understand L&D and development. So it's important that you have a foundational understanding in HR, which some of the certifications we have mentioned so far, and also the CIPM, can help you to provide as you pursue the specialist one down the line. Again, you can pursue the two at the same time. If you look at the certification for CPLP as an example, is a specialist certification for L&D, all right? It requires you to have at least 5 to 8 years experience in HR. So, I mean, you will not wait for 5 years before you get a certification. So once you get the basic certification, then you can then pursue that one when you get to the experience level, because that one is certifying your mastery of that particular area. Thank you. Okay, William says, I have 0 experience in HR. I have 0 experience in HR. Is it a right step to start with the PHRI? Again, Williams, I'm not able to answer that question as yes directly. I'll need to ask a question that says, how many years working experience do you have? And that working experience, what have you been doing? All right. If you've been working as a computer operator or you've been working within the space of IT, I would say you should start with APHRI. But if you've been working in roles that require you to manage people, to be responsible across supervisory role, if you're in place supervisory role, yes, then perhaps you begin to pursue the PHRI. But remember, the PHRI says you must have at least 1 year experience in HR, minimum 1 year experience within HR. If not, so you do the APHRI at that point. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your time. If you have any other feedback or questions, please, you can chat us on our number, and then we'll be able to attend to you at that point in time.